Hello everyone, so I'm going to take you through draping a bridal corset. You can apply this technique to any lace drape on a corset, but I basically just want to show you how we flatten lace over a corset bodice so that it looks like it is built to the body. Okay, so you start with your corset base, you put your cups in, or if you don't have cups, that's also okay. And you make sure that all your seams are matched, and then it's just pinned together at the back as tight as you can to get it to fit as nicely as you can to the front of the mannequin. Start by first securing the lace just roughly over the front of the corset. If you want any of the lines to match up specifically, then this is the time that you pin so that it stays, you have the front where you want the front. The first thing I do is I place my hand in the center and I pull down, and as I pull down I secure the center front seam. Okay, then it looks like that. After that, I generally pick the fabric up from the sides, pull it around to the back, keeping the height of the lace the same, so not letting it fall down like that, but trying to keep the grain of the fabric straight all the way to the back. And then I will secure it so it stays up while I do the rest of the draping. You can just leave this to hang in the meantime. And now it's time to get the lace to shape nicely underneath the bust, so we need to remove this excess to get it to fit to the bodice. So what I generally do is I move to the side seam, and just as I did in the front, I slide my hand down the dress and I pin as I go. I then do the same on the other side. Now we have it secured: side seam, center front, and side seam. Front V or the bust line first, just to make sure that none of the lace moves. So I pin along that line. It's time to shape the underbust so that we can get it fitting beautifully to the body as opposed to having this excess. So depending on your lace pattern, if you have a floral lace, there are several ways you can pull it. You can either pull the excess to the front, depending on the lines of your pattern. You can also pull it more to the side for a dart that goes off into the side seam. Alternatively, you can also pin directly under the bust line, and depending on the pattern that you are working with, depends on where I will pull that line. So lace by lace pattern, you decide. Basically, you take your hand and you pinch the fabric as close as you can to the actual underneath bodice, and then you'll put a pin. You'll repeat this process throughout the entire dart till you get it flattened to the bodice. As you can see, our excess is nicely flattened to the bodice. We've got a beautiful bust curve that is showing, and now we just need to remove the excess fabric on both sides. Once we've done this, you can see it's already molding more to the body. It's time to secure the back. So what I will do is I'll move my excess out of the way, and from the side seam I will almost massage the lace in and pull it till it sits nice and flush with the outside, and secure it down. So now this is sitting nice and flat. Same thing on the other side, and completely to the shape of the body. Now it's time to cut. pinch with my fingers and I move the pins to the one side, pinching as I go. Then what I do is I cut along that line and depending on what lace you're using, there might be a flower, so it doesn't have to be a straight line that you cut. Ideally, if you have a floral pattern or a pattern that has leaves and things, then you want to cut around the leaves so that when you place the lace over each other, it looks like it's grown that way on purpose and you haven't actually cut through the lines. And I cut into the bust point. Then I have this loose piece which I will get some more pins, and I will pull this fabric, also massaging from the side seam forward, place it over the line I have just cut so that it laps over a little bit, and I'll put a few pins to secure it. You want to make sure that this lace here is not bubbling and it is smooth so that you get the correct size. And now we can trim this excess off. Once you've trimmed the excess off, you can save these pieces for blending or using on something else, so never throw away your lace until the gown is complete. And now you will transfer your pins, lapping the one side over the other side. And now, as you can see, you have a smooth join that's nice and blended. Okay, now you can do the same on both sides. Perfect. This is your finished result. So as you can see, the lace is beautifully fitted to the gown. And if there are any pattern lines, like here where this pattern ends, you can just continue to bead and blend, which will disguise your lines so that it looks like the lace came embroidered in the shape of your bodice. At the top, you want to cut, leaving a 1.5 or 1 centimeter seam allowance so that you can fold it in and then bead where you blend. I'm most likely going to be beading by hand over here, so I don't really want these lines from this lace. So I'm going to cut them out and then you fold in the corners as you go. Once again, I always like to do this in the lace pattern. This is only a pinch that I do when I'm working with lace. If you are doing a drape with fabric, then you want to try and pull the pleats around so that you do not have any excess at this point. But with lace, because of the patterns, you can kind of cut and paste them together to give a very seamless look. And this is how we drape the seams away from a corset. And now it's ready to put all the beautiful details and the rest of the beading. I hope you enjoyed this.